light on. Light on. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, let's chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namam Vishnupadaya, Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare 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 Ram जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्णा dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad.
Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for All session. Let's recite Bhagavad Gita Shloka. We are reciting from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 10, text 11. Or do we have to start the next one? Do we have to start the next verse? I think we recited, did we recite 11 last week? No, right?
We start the new one every Monday, right?
Yes. So today is, today is Saturday, that's right. Sorry. Okay. Losing track of days. Okay. So anyone needs to go first? Vindhyavali Mataji, you can go ahead first.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah. Sloka also?
Shloka and translation.
Tesham evanukampartam aham ajnanajam tamaha nasamyatma bhavasto jnanadipena bhavasvata. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. To show them special mercy, I dwell in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Achintadev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the humble devotees.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please repeat. Tesham evanukampartham
Tesam evanu kampartam
aham agyanajam tamaha
aham ajnana jam tamaha
nashayami atma bhavasto
nasyayami atma bhavastu
jnana deepena bhasvata.
jnana deepena bhasvata. Translation. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Aditi Lata Mataji and Arunita. Not ready yet? Okay, we'll come back to them later. Inba Inia, Jai Shri Mataji, Jai Ganesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Tesham evanukampartam aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayami atma bhavasto jnanadipena bhasvata. Translation. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Inia.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Teshamevanukampartham aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayami atma bhavasto jnanadipena bhasvata. Translation. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance.
Thank you. Mataji and Prabhuji are there?
You read it last.
Mataji will read it last.
Okay. Sonia Mataji. Yeah, I think Mataji's device is not fixed.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
We can hear you. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Sorry Mataji, I was muted.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead, Mataji.
Tesam evanukampatham aham agnanajam tamaha nashayatmyatma bhavasto gnanadipena bhasvata. Translation. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Priyanka Mataji is not able to read. So anyone who has not recited can recite now. Or
I'm there, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Your volume is very low. We can hardly hear you.
तेषामेव नुकम्पार्थम् अहम् अज्ञानजं तमः नाशयामि आत्मभावस्तु ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता. To show them special mercy, I dwelling in their hearts destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Arunita?
She is not available now, Mataji.
Not available. Okay. So, Inya, Mataji is going to read. I'll read first, meanwhile. Bhagavad Gita 10:11. Tesham evanukampartham aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayamyatma bhavasto jnanadipena bhasvata. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in the heart, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Okay, anyone else?
Not
Not there yet. Okay, so let's go to Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, let's discuss a little bit about this verse. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. So, we discussed in the last class a little bit. The previous verse was Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam. So there buddhi yoga means the Lord is entering into the buddhi vritti of the Lord, of the devotee. That is called buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga means the Lord's entering into the buddhi vritti. That is buddhi yoga. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. I will give him buddhi yoga, the Lord is saying. That means by his own sweet will, he enters. That is buddhi yoga. Now the next step is, after the Lord has entered the heart, now for the devotee to see that Lord, does he need anything? That is the point. And in order to explain this, we'll understand it like this. Now, the pen is an object. Okay, let's say anything. Okay, the phone, right? We all have phones next to us. The phone is an object. Now, to see the phone, what do you need? What do we need to see the phone? Yes, we need
Use
eyes. Yes. So if we don't have eyes, can we see the phone? No. Similarly, when one does Nishkama Karma Yoga, by doing Nishkama Karma Yoga, for the Atma to see itself as Atma, he needs Vidya Vritti. Vidya Vritti. For the Atma to see itself as Atma, it needs Vidya Vritti. If that Vidya Vritti is not there, can Atma realize that it is Atma? No. Because Avidya is covering. In Avidya, I see myself as this body. I see myself in the mirror and I think this is me. I don't see myself as spirit soul. That means for the Atma to see itself as Atma, by doing Nishkama Karma Yoga, it needs Vidya Vritti. For me to see the phone or to see the pen, I need the eyes. Now the Lord has entered the Buddhi Vritti, He is there in the heart. For me to see that Lord, do I need something like Vidya Vritti? Do I need something? That is the question here. So here, Jnana Deepena Bhasvata. No, you don't need any Vidya Vritti, you don't need anything else to see the Lord. So there, this Jnana Deepena Bhasvata, the Lord is self-illuminating. You don't need anything else to see him. You don't need anything else to see the Lord, just like you take the sun. Do you need a flashlight to see the sun? No. When the sun comes, the sun is showing himself. You don't need anything else to see the sun. Similarly, when the Lord manifests himself, of course, you may say Atma is also, right, effulgent. Then why we are not able to see? You cannot see. Until and unless you have that Vidya Vritti, you cannot see the Atma. But when it comes, that was through Nishkama Karma Yoga. Nishkama Karma Yoga is not Bhakti. But when you do Bhakti, Ananya Bhakti, and then you come to a stage where the Lord is entering into your Buddhi Vritti, for you to see the Lord, you don't need anything else. Tesham evanukampartham, anukampa, out of his mercy. Aham ajnanajam tamaha. I remove the darkness of ignorance. What type of ignorance? That's also another question. I think we discussed it when the shloka was quoted in Srimad Bhagavatam. So that we'll come to that a little later. What type of ignorance is removed? But for now, to see the Lord's entering into the heart, dadami buddhi yogam tam. Buddhi yogam dadami. I am giving buddhi yoga means is entering into the buddhi vritti. Now, after he enters also, do I need some qualification to see him? No. He himself, he is self-illuminating. He lights up, Jnana Deepena, right? He is so self-illuminating, you don't need anything else to see him, to experience him. Again, this seeing is, what type of seeing is this? Now, whatever we hear about the Lord, Krishna is bluish in complexion, he has a peacock feather. This is one level of knowing Krishna. Of course, this is also, because hearing is knowing, right? Shastra. We see the Lord through Shastra's eyes. That is one level of knowing the Lord. But to actually experience him, that's a different level. It's just like knowing that laddu is sweet. We have different types of laddus, right? We have rava laddu, we have bundi laddu, different types of laddus are there. Now, what is the taste of that laddu? Somebody will explain to you. Oh, you can taste, this is the texture and it's sweet and it also has kaju inside that, and you can taste the cardamom and it's very nice. Okay, you get an idea. But that is one level of knowing. So when anyone asks you, what is laddu? This particular laddu, you can explain to them based on what you have heard. And you will be right, you won't be wrong. But when you actually eat it and taste it, that's a whole different experience, isn't it? This is also knowing. By hearing, knowing is also knowing. But realizing that by eating it yourself, that's a whole different level of knowing. That's what we are talking about here. When the Lord personally enters and you are actually experiencing him directly, and by that experience you are knowing him, that's what we are talking about. So that knowing and experiencing the Lord, do you need some qualification for that apart from whatever you are doing? No. Out of his causeless mercy, he manifests himself in front of you. He reveals himself in front of you. You don't need anything else. Just like for realizing yourself as Atma, you need Vidya, Vritti, or for you to see some object, you need the eyes. Like this, in order to see the Lord or in order to experience the Lord, you don't need anything else. Whatever is required to realize the Lord, that is also given by the Lord only. If there is something that you need to experience the Lord, that requirement is also given by the Lord only. You don't need to get it from some other source. He is completely self-sufficient. He reveals himself to the devotee, and whatever qualification the devotee needs to see him, to know him, that is also given by the Lord only. So the devotee does sadhana bhakti, and by sadhana bhakti means, remember, ananya bhakti. Then when the Lord is pleased, he enters into the buddhi vritti and he illuminates himself by his own power. You don't need anything else for realizing him. He will make you experience him. He will make you experience him. You don't need to get anything from any other source in order to experience him. Whatever you need to experience him, that need is also fulfilled by him only. He will give you what you need to experience him. Then at that time we will get sakshatkaraha, Bhagavad sakshatkaraha. That means you get direct experience of the Lord. So that's what this verse is saying. Tesham evanukampatham. Why he is showing anukampa, out of his causeless mercy. Tesham evanukampartham aham ajnanajam tamaha. So that ajnana we will discuss later. What type of ajnana is removing? Nashayami atma bhavastu. Right? That ajnana I am removing. That darkness of ajnana I am removing. Nashayami atma bhavastu jnana deepena bhasvata. Right? Personally, he is lighting up that lamp of knowledge. What type of knowledge? Knowledge means here realizing, experiencing, direct experience. Here jnana means directly experiencing the Lord. Here jnana does not mean knowledge about what he is. It is direct experience. That's what is jnana in this verse. Achinta Dev Prabhu.
Mataji, you just said that the qualification that is needed is also given by the Lord. So what is that based on? Our karma? Because different people would have different qualifications.
No, this is far beyond karma. All karma is finished after anartha nivritti stage. Here we are talking about bhava and prema and beyond. So we are not. So karma is not there here. At this point, there is no karma. So qualification needed means it's not karma. Here that means, for example, unless you have a transcendental body, you will not be able to experience the Lord transcendentally. You need a parshada deha. Parshada deha means same, the body exactly like Krishna's. Sachidananda body you need in order to experience the Lord. We are talking about direct experience, sakshatkara. That starts in bhava stage. It's the budding stage. So that's just one example. So you need certain things in order to experience the Lord and reciprocate with the Lord directly. Whatever you need for that, whatever is the need, that is provided by Him. This is far beyond karma stage. Now, for us, we are all carrying our baggage of karma and we are trying to enter into pure devotional service. Pure devotional service means no other desire save and except pleasing Krishna, no karma, no jnana, and doing this continuously 24/7. This is pure devotional service. Even if you have faith that this is all I have to do and you're endeavoring like that, still you are pure devotee, even though you're not able to do it. But if you're endeavoring 24/7, you're endeavoring to do that because you're convinced this is all I have to do, I don't have to do anything else, then also you're a pure devotee. In that way, when you keep doing pure devotional service, when you cross different stages, all your impressions, past impressions are all cleared, anartha nivritti is crossed, and now you're developing attachment to the Lord directly as a person, and also you begin following in the footsteps of the Brajbasis, all these higher stages. Then at some point, being pleased by your devotional service, the Lord, out of his own sweet will, enters into your buddhi vritti, your intelligence. Intelligence means here now again, everything is purified. Nothing has, right now when we have a subtle body, it has, still we are in the modes. Our mind is made of modes, intelligence is made of modes. There it won't be made of modes. You have transcended. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. When you do bhakti, that is after you attain that Brahma bhuta stage. Or, what is that verse? 1426. Avyabhichari bhakti. Mam chayo avyabhichareena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Anyone who does avyabhichari bhakti, that means pure devotional service, instantly, immediately he transcends the three modes. So here these devotees are doing pure devotional service. There's no question of being in the modes. Karma means modes. So if you're doing pure devotional service, then there's no question of modes, there's no question of karma. So when you say, then what is it that is needed? What is it that is needed that we don't know actually. We don't know what it is that is needed. But he knows. And whatever we need for us to directly experience him, see him, that is given by him only. We don't have to take shelter of anything else in order to get the qualification for that. Like in this material world, if you want to get admission into a particular university, you need to have some prerequisites. You have to show that. First you get this and this and this certificates, and then you can apply in that university. But for Krishna, it's not like that in Bhakti. You simply have to continue with your pure devotional service. He will give you what you need to see him, to realize him, to get back to him. He will only provide everything. Like the perfect master, right? He takes full charge of the servant. He gives everything, whatever you need, he will only give. You don't have to go to any other master or any other method or any other shelter. Simply continue your devotional service, and whatever is needed is self-sufficient, he will give. That's the meaning. Is that okay?
Yes, Mataji. If I visualize myself, I'm in a sub-zero level. If the level is 100, I'm in sub-zero level.
Yeah, when we realize like that, that's when you understand that you're actually making progress. But most of the time, we are thinking, or I am thinking, that, oh, I'm there. So whenever we think that we are there, that's a sign that we are actually in sub-zero level. All our Vaishnava acharyas, they actually see them, because that's the way to, it's actually a fact. It's not just humility. This is a fact that we are in that level, sub-zero level. But to realize that and to accept it, and that humility, in that humility to continue our devotional service, that means we are actually making progress in bhakti. And how will that come? That humility, that will also come by association of those devotees who are actually rendering devotional service in that attitude of humility. And of course by hearing from Shastra, Bhakti Shastras like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, in the association of devotees, our Shraddha will become stronger and stronger, and then we will be doing only devotional service 24/7. So yeah, one thing to realize is it is rare. It is rare to be, but opportunity is given to all of us. It's not that, oh, it's rare, so it's for someone else, it's not for me. That's also not right. That's also not right. The whole purpose of this discussion of again and again saying that, we have to get full Shraddha is so that we can actually make advancement. Instead of thinking we are already pure devotees, we are chanting 16 rounds, we are following 4 regulative principles, so we are pure devotees. If we think we are pure devotees, then will we make any advancement? Think about it. If we think I'm already a devotee, I'm a pure devotee, then I will just try to enjoy my position as a pure devotee. Progress is made by that person who sees that I am not there. I need to get there. And the symptom of that is when one who realizes like that, he is helplessly calling out to the Lord all the time. Because he is helpless, like a little baby, right? Yesterday when I was in the hospital, there was one girl, Russian girl, Russian bodied girl, and her mother was there next to her. This is Mayapur, so it's especially in the hospital, all the nurses and all the workers, they're all local Bengali Indians. And she looked so scared. They were putting this IV through her body. And I think when we went, already they had finished one big bottle of, whatever they were sending it through her veins. And then that was finished, and then they were going to connect another one. But all this while I could see she was always like in anxiety. And then the nurse came and called the mother to go to the pharmacy. She had to do something in the pharmacy. So the mother was going and she's like, Mom, Mom. And then she's just like a deer, like a fearful deer, she's just looking very scared, in a very, very helpless condition. She's just calling out, Mother, Mother. A devotee's condition is like that. He feels, because he sees that I am in a very, of course, there are different levels of devotees, but for us, I'm saying, for us, because the tendency is, we are surrounded by comforts and everything, and little comfort for the body, then we just try to relax, isn't it? But when there is some difficulty, some discomfort, then if we are actually, pious, or if we are devotional, then we will remember Krishna in that difficult time. So a devotee never tries to become comfortable in the material world. It's a different level when someone is completely realized, right? That devotee that we are talking about, Teshan Evanukampartham. He is seeing Krishna. Now he sees Krishna wherever he sees. In his house, in every atom, wherever he is only seeing Krishna. Uttama Bhakta. For him, no problem. He is not in anxiety, oh, I'm in the material world. He is not. Because he is only seeing Krishna. For him, there is no material world. Even if he is in hell, he is only seeing Krishna all the time. That's a different category. So we cannot imitate that category. But in our case, we keep becoming we have to remember Krishna. We have to remind ourselves to remember Krishna. Because there are so many distractions that will take us away from Krishna. So therefore, being completely helpless and calling out to Krishna, seeing even whether comforts or discomforts, both. A serious devotee will be afraid of pleasures also, because these will distract me away from Krishna consciousness. And of course, when there are difficulties, then he'll take that as an opportunity to call out to Krishna. Under all circumstances, he has to call out to Krishna. So I was just thinking when I saw that girl yesterday, we don't belong here. So that's how we should feel. We don't belong to this material world. For a non-devotee, death is very fearful, because he thinks this is life, isn't it? All his memories are everything in this world only, whatever he had. Whereas for a devotee, death is welcome, because he has lived his life in devotional service. He's trying to remember Krishna now, and he knows that after death, it's just coming closer to Krishna, one step closer to Krishna. So he won't be fearful. And those who have done devotional service in this life, you don't have to fear. You don't just continue sincerely whatever you are doing devotional service and increase, right? We have 24 hours, then increase the time that I'm spending in direct devotional service. Like Mataji says, she's chanting or she's reciting some uh, prayers, or she's listening to lectures, or she's reading, like that. So in this way, the other day Mataji was talking, Vindavali Mataji was saying, her happiness is when she goes to the temple, and that keeps her enlivened for the rest of the week in the association of all of you devotees. She goes to the temple, and that's her happiness. That's the source of her happiness. When all devotees come together on Sunday to the temple, going in front of Radha Sharad Vihari, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, Gaurnitai Srila Prabhupada, right? Doing some service in the temple, like that. So this is the life of a devotee. And wherever any other activity, any other place where there is no devotee association, they are not happy there. It's not pleasing to the heart. So if we can come to this point like this, then of course, when that choice is given to us, even at the time of death, we will choose Krishna only, because we have cultivated that throughout our life. Then why fear? There's no fear. In life or death, we want to be devotees only. We want to serve Krishna. And if that's our consciousness, the future is very bright. We don't have to worry, right? So let's continue now. Srimad Bhagavatam. So we will stop Bhagavad Gita discussion here. We'll continue tomorrow further. Now let's read. Mataji is there. Inya, Saujanya Mataji, Neelambari Mataji. Okay, all of you can also recite the verse. Whoever is ready would like to recite, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranams, all good to Srila Prabhupada, and glorious to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Tesham yevanukampartam aham agnanajam tama nasayami atma bhavasto gnanadipena bhashvata. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Neelambari Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Teshamevanukampartham aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayami atma bhavastho jnanadipena bhashvata. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Krishna Ashish.
तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम् अहम् अज्ञानजं तमः नाशयामि आत्मभावस्तो ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वतः. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance.
Jai Shri Mataji.
Mataji, she's not here.
Oh, I thought you unmuted, so okay. All right. So anyone else?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Priyanka.
Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Tesham evanukampartham aham ajnanajam tamaha nashyami atma bhavasto jnanadipena bhasvata. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy the shining lamp of knowledge, the darkness. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Let's read Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 5. So, yeah, we concluded about Ambarish Maharaj, how Durvasa Muni is glorifying Ambarish Maharaj, and then he took prasadam. Ambarish Maharaj served him prasadam, and then he asked Ambarish Maharaj also to take prasadam, and then he left and went to Brahmaloka, and Srila Prabhupada said, and through taking the sky ways, airways, and Srila Prabhupada said, Ambarish Maharaj went to Brahmaloka, where there are no mental speculators. And why did he go there? And while he was going, he was constantly glorifying Ambarish Maharaj, because he wanted to tell them about the greatness of the devotees of the Supreme Lord. He himself was Ashtanga Yogi, and then if there are Gyanis in the Brahmaloka, to tell them how Jnana and yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, cannot come anywhere close to Bhakti. To show the quality of pure devotees, to glorify the pure devotees, Durvasa Muni went to Brahmaloka. Like that we read. Let's see what happened after that. So text 27. In this way, 25. In this way, because of devotional service, Maharaj Ambarish, who was endowed with varieties of transcendental qualities, was completely aware of Brahman, Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus he executed devotional service perfectly. Because of his devotion, he thought even the topmost planet of this material world no better than the hellish planets. Srila Sukadeva Goswami continued, thereafter, because of his advanced position in devotional life, Maharaj Ambarish, who no longer desired to live with material things, retired from active family life. He divided his property among his sons, who were equally as qualified, and he himself took the order of Vanaprastha and went to the forest to concentrate his mind fully upon Lord Vasudeva. So that also we discussed. Actually, Prabhupada said that actually a pure devotee is liberated under all circumstances, whether he is a grihastha or a vanaprastha, it doesn't matter. But still, to set the example of an ideal kshatriya, Ambarish Maharaj took vanaprastha. And so Sukadeva Goswami is glorifying Ambarish Maharaj. That and yeah. So before leaving, before Durvasa Muni left, he blessed Ambarish Maharaj, saying that all the blessed ladies of the heavenly planets, as well as all the people of this earthly planets, they will at every moment glorify you. That's the benediction that Durvasa Muni gave to Ambarish Maharaj. And then he glorified Ambarish Maharaj, for his how he personally experienced. Right, earlier he thought Ambarish Maharaj was an ordinary householder, but later on he could actually experience personally by coming, touching his lotus feet and seeing him and hearing his words. He could see how exalted Ambarish Maharaj is and how he was actually becoming purified in the association of such a great devotee like this. And then he left. And after he left, now Sukadeva Goswami is glorifying Ambarish Maharaj. How Ambarish Maharaj had not eaten for 1 year until Durvasa Muni came back. He simply subsisted on water And how he was able to do that? Because of his devotional service. And also the superiority. What is this whole episode telling us? Ambarish Maharaj's Upakyanam. What is it telling us? How bhakti is superior to yoga, jnana, etc. Durvasa Muni was an accomplished yogi, siddha, but in comparison to a devotee, he was still envious of a devotee, even though he was a great mystic yogi. This shows the superiority of bhakti. Whereas Ambarish, and also when he was in difficulty, when Sudarshan Chakra chased after him, he became so fearful, running here and there for his life. And Ambarish Maharaj is a devotee. When that demon sent by Durvasa Muni came to him, did Ambarish Maharaj run here and there out of fear? He didn't move from his place. He just stood there with folded hands, completely being dependent on the mercy of the Lord. This also shows the position of a devotee as compared to other transcendentalists. Even someone may be a yogi or a jnani. So this episode, so then, therefore, here Sukadeva Goswami is saying Ambarish Maharaj was completely aware of Bhagavan and also Paramatma and Brahman. How Brahman is the goal of jnanis, Paramatma is the goal of yogis, and Bhagavan is the goal of bhaktas. But a bhakta is able to get the result of jnana yoga also without trying for it separately. Bhagavan is the complete understanding of absolute truth. Paramatma and Brahman are partial realization of absolute truth. When you have the complete, all partials are included there. All parts are included there. Like that. So in this way, while glorifying Ambarish Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami is also glorifying Bhakti. That's what we see. So text 26. Yeah, how he took to Vanaprastha. Now next, text 27. Who's supposed to read today? I'll just read the Sanskrit while you remember. Ityetat punyamakhyanam ambarishasya bhupate sankirtayan anudhyayan bhakto bhagavato bhavet. I think Achintadev Prabhu.
No, we read, Inyamba read, then Isha read, then...
Oh, Isha also read. Okay. Krishna Ashish read, huh?
Yeah.
Anyone who chants this narration or even thinks of this narration about the activities of Maharaj Ambarish certainly becomes a pure devotee of the Lord.
Anyone who chants this narration or even thinks of this narration, I thought Mataji, anyway, Krishna Ashish read now.
Mataji,
But,
a cycle finished, I think.
Yes, because yesterday was Bhadra Purnima. I wanted everyone to get a chance to read. I think everyone read. And
Yes,
remember,
Mataji.
Achyutpriya Mataji said, I didn't get a chance. So then I told her to read. Remember? So anyway, it's okay. So Prabhuji can read now. Krishna, she's read the translation.
I can read. It's a long
Okay. Anyone who chants this narration or even thinks of this narration. So we may think, because Durvasa Muni said, I saw Ambarish Maharaj, I touched him, right? And because of this, he got the benediction. And previously also it is said, anyone who sees, that's a different episode. I think that is about in Chaitanya. We were reading about Haridas Thakur's disappearance. So there it is said, anyone who sees Haridas Thakur, touches Haridas Thakur. But here also, Durvasa Muni said about Ambarish Maharaj that I touched you, I saw you, I heard you, and it is so pleasing. So you get that benediction of coming in Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Koi, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoi. You get a moment's association of a sadhu, you get all perfection. So then, do you have to physically see them? Only then you get the benediction? No. You can also get a benediction simply by hearing about them. See how merciful. So here, this verse is saying, anyone who chants this narration of Ambarish Maharaj, or even thinks of this narration about the activities of Maharaj Ambarish, certainly becomes a pure devotee of the Lord. Not that you'll get wealth, you'll live 100 years or anything. You will become a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord if you narrate this pastime, hear this pastime, or even just remember Ambarish Maharaj. Remember how Ambarish Maharaj is completely dependent on the Lord. Anyone who thinks of this pastime about the qualities of Ambarish Maharaj, he will become a pure devotee. That's the benediction. So let's read the purport. Mataji.
Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur herein gives a very good example. When one is very eager for more and more money, he is not satisfied even when he is a millionaire or a multimillionaire, but wants to earn more and more money by any means. The same mentality is present in a devotee. The devotee is never satisfied thinking, this is the limit of my devotional service. The more he engages in the service of the Lord, the more service he wants to give. This is the position of a devotee. Maharaj Ambarish, in his family life, was certainly a pure devotee, complete in every respect, because his mind and all his senses were engaged in devotional service. Savai mana Krishna Padaravindra Vindayor Vachamsi Vaikunta Guna Gunanuvarnane. Maharaj Ambarisha was self-satisfied because all of his senses were engaged in devotional service. Sarvopadi Vimirmuktam Tat Paratvena Nirmalam. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Nonetheless, although Maharaj Ambarish had engaged all his senses in devotional service, he left his home and went to the forest to concentrate his mind fully at the lotus feet of Krishna, exactly as a mercantile man, even though complete in wealth, tries to earn more and more. This mentality of getting more and more engaged in devotional service puts one in the most exalted position. Whereas on the karma platform, the mercantile man who wants more and more money becomes increasingly bound and entangled. The devotee becomes increasingly liberated. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Such a nice purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur herein gives a very good example. What is the point here? Anyone who chants or thinks, narrates about Ambarish Maharaj, he will become a pure devotee. So Srila Prabhupada is explaining, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a good example about this. When one is very eager for more and more money, yes, he is not satisfied even when he is a millionaire or a multimillionaire, but wants to earn more and more money by any means. The same mentality is present in a devotee. The devotee is never satisfied, thinking this is the limit of my devotional service. The more he engages in the service of the Lord, the more service he wants to give. This is the position of a devotee. So this is a very important principle, something that a materialistic person can relate to. Greed. This is greed, right? The more he earns, he wants to multiply it even more. He wants to get more and more. How I can multiply what I have, how I can get more and more wealth. There is never a cap. Although you may say, when I get this much, then I'm going to retire. They will never retire. Because the nature of greed is such, and you will have 101 reasons to explain why you cannot stop. Oh, the cost of living has gone up. Back then, 10 years ago, if we had this much, it would have been sufficient. But now times have changed. We need more. And they will just keep on trying to earn more and more and more and more. The same principle is also applicable in devotional service. It is not for money, not for wealth, not for gold, but it is for devotional service. It's called laulyam, greed. Actually, when one gets this type of greed for more and more devotional service, that is Raganuga sadhana bhakti. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains this in Madhurya Kadambini. So you have like you have sadhana bhakti. So bhakti is compared to a seed, isn't it? Seed. Bhakti lata bij. Bhakti lata is a creeper. So it starts with a seed. When you plant a seed, first it sprouts and then two leaves come up from the seed. If you have seen tamarind seeds, right, when it sprouts, first two leaves come up. So these two leaves are compared to Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and Raganuga sadhana bhakti. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, actually no, sorry, not the two leaves are not compared to that. Now my memory is becoming poor. I have to go and revisit that book again. But the two leaves, I'm forgetting what the two leaves signify. I will let you know about that after some time. But on the leaf, you see, anyway, let me not speculate. I will refer to that. I will read it and I will explain it to you again. Okay, maybe in tomorrow's class. You can remind me. I will explain that whole phenomenon again. But the point is, in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, what is driving us is the rules and regulations of the scriptures. Whereas in Raganuga Bhakti, what is driving us is that intense greed. You have greed for, so it is your greed for more and more devotional service that drives you forward in Raganuga Bhakti. Whereas in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, what drives you is, this is the injunction of the scripture. I must follow it. This is the rules given in the scripture. I cannot go against the rules of the scriptures. I must follow it. So therefore that is rough because it gives pain, isn't it? Following rules and regulations, it's not always pleasing. But you do it anyway because that's the right thing to do. There, the consciousness is being duty bound. This is my duty and I must do it. Whether it is pleasing or it is painful, it does not matter. I have to do it. That's why it's like the rough surface of the leaf. But the other side of the leaf is smooth, right? Smooth means there what is driving you is not intense rules, regulations. You have greed. It's very pleasing and you have greed. You want more and more and more. So that greed is wanted. That greed is wanted. So here, Srila Prabhupada is saying in the purport that Hare Krishna Mata, that the devotee is also never satisfied thinking that this is the limit of my devotional service. Okay, I rise in the morning and I chant my 16 rounds and I follow the 4 regulative principles. I observe Ekadasi. So that's enough. This is what Srila Prabhupada told us to do. Follow at least 16 rounds. How many of us chant more than 16 rounds every day? You don't have to raise your hands, but you can ask yourself. I think if we can somehow or other chant 16 rounds, then it's like we feel like, yes, I have accomplished it today. Okay, done. This is not greed. This is rules and regulations. Greed means you're chanting and you're getting taste and it's not enough. You want more and more. Just like somebody is serving you ice cream. You eat a little bit and you're like, I want some more because you're tasting it. Like that, or whatever it is that you like, gulab jamun or rasgulla, whatever you like. So somebody who's chanting and he's tasting and he wants more and more and more. And any other form of devotional service. That is taste. So we want that taste. How to get that taste? That's the next question, right? If we simply follow the rules and regulations, it will bring us to that taste. Rules and regulations means of course, the limit is 24 hours you have to try. Whether you like it or not, you have to just try. So now you don't have that greed, but you're forcing yourself, knowing that this is what I'm supposed to do. But when we do it like that, start with some regulation. Okay, and you cannot start with 24 hours immediately. You may not be able to start. We may not be able to start. But okay, I'm not able to chant for 3, 4, 5 hours also, no problem. Srila Prabhupada said chant 16 rounds, and the rest of the day, what did he say? Okay, after you chant 16 rounds, now you can do whatever you like. He said 24 hours you have to be engaged in devotional service. Read my books, Srila Prabhupada said. Or engage in deity worship. Go out on book distribution. One way or the other, you have to be engaged in devotional service throughout the day. That should be the endeavor. So we should try to increase this activity and minimize our other things that we do. Anything other than devotional service, whatever we are doing, that time has to be gradually reduced. Or if you are able to dovetail that in Krishna's service directly, very good. If you are able to dovetail that service in Krishna's, that activity in Krishna's service. Or while doing that activity, if you are constantly thinking or chanting, right? Your lips are chanting and externally you're doing some work. Good, that's also good. That's very good. So we have to cultivate this. We have to cultivate this. So, but when someone gets greed, it's not like forcing himself anymore. He wants it, right? When we are greedy for something, does someone have to tell us to do it? No. When you're greedy, you'll just go for it. So you're always looking for more and more and more. This is not enough. I want to do more. I want to do more. So by symptoms, we can understand where we are, right? So just like a materialistic person is greedy for more and more money, a devotee will be greedy for more and more devotional service. There's never a limit where he will feel, this is the limit. Now I have enough. I don't want more devotional service. He'll never feel like that. That's the point. So Ambarish Maharaj was a pure devotee in every respect. Why? Because he wanted devotional service so much, not just with his ears he's hearing, not just with his tongue he's glorifying, with his every sense. With his every sense at all times he's engaged in the service of the Lord. Even his mind, everything. So obviously he has that greed, intense greed. That's why he's constantly engaged in the service of the Lord. He was self-satisfied because of his senses, all his senses, being engaged in devotional service. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam hrishikena hrishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. What is bhakti? Engaging the senses in the service of the master of the senses is called bhakti. Even though he was engaged like this, the interesting thing is he's already engaged completely in devotional service 24/7. Still he left home. Why? Many times in our classes also question comes up. We are devotees, our family members are also devotees. Do we also have to leave our family and go? We get a question, right? So Ambarish Maharaj was not even like us. He was like, all his senses were engaged in Krishna's service. Still he left home and took Vanaprastha. That's interesting. So, nonetheless, although Maharaj Ambarish had engaged all his senses in devotional service, he left home and went to the forest to concentrate his mind fully at the lotus feet of Krishna. So, again, we have to see in what context it's being explained. So, in what context? The whole subject here is the greed of the devotee. So, he was nicely engaged, but he wanted more. He's complete, right? All his senses are engaged. But he left home and went to the forest to concentrate his mind fully on Krishna. How do you explain this? Exactly as a mercantile man, even though complete in wealth, tries to earn more and more. This mentality of getting more and more engaged in devotional service puts one in the most exalted position. So, getting this type of greed, right? Getting this type of greed, wanting more and more, when you have that mentality puts us in the most exalted position. And what is the result of this type of greed? When a materialistic person, karmi, wants more and more money, the result is he becomes more and more entangled in this world. That means bondage, repeated birth and death. And when a devotee becomes greedy for more and more devotional service, the result is liberated. So, here you may get a question. Ambarish Maharaj is already fully engaged. What is the question of being more focusing his mind completely on Krishna? But his mind was already completely focused. What do you mean by more completely focused for him? You may get this question. This is the nature of that pure devotee. We cannot understand because we are not in that position, right? We can only calculate in terms of material math. When something is complete, then there's no room for anything more. It's already complete. But spiritual life is different. There's complete, more complete, most complete, and it goes on increasing. Besides, like just now, we were discussing that a pure devotee never thinks he's a pure devotee. He doesn't think he's a pure devotee. So he's always hankering. Although he is engaged all the time, he doesn't think I'm already engaged. What else do I need? No. He's doing everything and he's thinking more, more, more. Aditi Lata Mataji.
There is one sloka, I don't remember. Obviously, I don't remember where we read, but it explains that pure devotee is better. The devotee is better who actually Krishna loves him more. Those devotees who actually helps other. The example I'm saying, like in comparison with Ambarish Maharaj, he went to seek more attention to Krishna, I mean, more devotional service. Whereas Prahlad Maharaj or Prabhupada, they actually wanted to stay and so that they can help others to be devotee of Krishna. So they are more dear to Krishna. We read some, I don't know which sloka it is.
Not like that. I mean, we didn't read it in this way that Prahlad Maharaj is more dear than Ambarish Maharaj. Like that, we
No,
didn't
not
read.
like that. But
Yeah.
Krishna says they are more dear to Krishna who actually help.
Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavad Gita, we read that anyone who gives this message to my devotees, there's no one more dear to me than him. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. How this person is more dear, right? This person is dear, this person is dear, 12th chapter. And
Yes.
finally, he says that one who gives this, 18th chapter also, one who gives this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, explains this Bhagavad Gita to other devotees, is the dearest person to me, like that Krishna says. So you are saying in terms of Bhajananandis and Goshtanandis, no, I mean, that is correct, absolutely correct. What you said is correct. but not in this context. Ambarish Maharaj, even what he did, that's why I said you have to see the context, how it is being explained.
I understood, Mataji. Yes, here the point was about Ambarish Maharaj. In spite of being doing devotional service fully, still he is leaving everything and going there. I'm just saying the other aspect of that.
Yeah, that point is there, but we may not apply that to Ambarish Maharaj. That's all.
Correct. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, it's not that he's leaving everything and he's not preaching. We shouldn't take like that for Ambarish Maharaj.
No. My brain works this way, Mataji. Whenever I hear any point, I just automatically thinks in a
Connect it with others. That's
Yeah.
very good, actually. That's required, and that's very much appreciated. That tells that you're actually listening properly, attentively. It naturally happens when we actually hear, then we can connect all related points together. So that's actually very good.
Bhakti Vinod Thakur also says that staying at home. If your home is Vrindavan, then you don't need to go renounce life. Like you make your home Vrindavan, right?
Actually, Mataji, the point is whatever is favorable to Krishna's service, right? So if it is favorable to stay at home, then you'll stay at home. And if it is favorable means, if it is favorable for Krishna's mission, if you're staying at home, if you can do more service for the mission by staying at home, then you'll just accept that. And if you can do more service by giving up, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just look at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was already 24/7, preaching, and he had his dear devotees. Day and night he's doing Sankirtan. Still he gave up family. And in what way? Widowed mother and a very young wife, he just left them and went away. That means whatever is favorable for the mission, that's what a devotee does. No personal considerations. Here in this case, you may even say, oh no, but now because family, of course they are devotees. His mother is a devotee, his wife is a devotee, and there was no male member in the family. If anyone did like that today, we would say, what is this? This is not acceptable. You're giving up your family, and that too they are dependent, they don't have anyone else. Mahaprabhu did it. So it's not that it's better to stay at home, or it's not that it's better to leave home and go. It's not that way. It's about what is best for the Lord's mission. How best can this message be spread? And how can more number of people be brought to this Sankirtan movement for their benefit? If Srila Prabhupada had not taken sannyas, would he get this much of success? We don't know. You see? So that's also required. Srila Prabhupada took sannyas. Srila Prabhupada took sannyas. He left home and he took sannyas. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, take his example. His entire family is devotees. His father is a devotee. All Nityasiddha devotees. All his brothers, sisters, everyone is a devotee. Some of his brothers also became sannyasis. They all took sannyas. They left home. Although the family was all devotees, still they left home. Why? Because they could do more service as a renunciate, not on the terms that, see, Bhajananandi, Goshtanandi is different. Bhajananandi means they leave everything, go to the forest and stay. But leaving home for the sake of spreading the mission, that's a whole different thing. They're still Goshtanandis only. They're still preaching, but they give up family life. For the sake of, they accept a bigger family.
So Goshtanandi is more dearer to Krishna than Bhajananandi.
Preacher, yes. Dearer to Krishna because he's sharing this with others. Yes, Mataji. Someone who's simply practicing bhakti for his own deliverance, and someone else who is uh, preaching this mission. But even there, you cannot see. Haridas Thakur was chanting in solitude, but was that not preaching? That was also preaching. His lifestyle to this day and for many, many generations to come, for eternity, Haridas Thakur will be glorified. And
those are indirect teaching, right? Like by their lifestyle, they teach us. By their life, they teach us.
so the point is, you said they are more dear and they are less dear. So that's what I'm saying. We cannot say that they are less dear. That's the point. So, but of course, for us, Srila Prabhupada set a standard. This is the mission. This is how he started this mission. We follow in Srila Prabhupada's footsteps. But we will not judge anyone else. That's my point.
Of course not. No.
We will follow this only, the preaching mission, because this is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's is a preaching mission, and our acharyas coming in that line, the Goswamis, they went out and they preached, and they sent their disciples distributing books. In that line, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he established so many temples, sent his disciples to preach all over India, even in the West. Srila Prabhupada went. So ours is a preaching movement. So for us, this is our path. This is what we will follow. But at the same time, we have full respect, dandavat pranams to anyone who is doing, that if it's ultimately purity is the force, right? So if they have that type of purity and if they are chanting Krishna's names like Haridas Thakur, who are we to say that they are not as dear to Krishna as someone else? Cannot say.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, one more thing. Do you have that chart? When we studied, there was a chart which was shared for this thing which you were saying that you will refer to the notes. There was a 4 picture and a big picture which they shared, remember? And
About what, Mataji? I didn't understand.
About the stages of bhakti.
Acha. Stages of bhakti like Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, like that?
Yes, there was a chart. So like you said that you are going to refer to the notes. So by that chart, I mean, if you have the chart, if you share it with us, then it's easy to understand, easy to remember.
Yeah. One thing that I remember is in Srimad Bhagavatam in 2 different places, in the first canto itself, 2nd chapter, and I think again in the 5th chapter, Narad Muni's previous life. There we read the different stages of bhakti. So according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and also according to
Hanumaraj or someone's book was there. I mean, in the book that picture was there probably. So which was shared by the teachers there.
Oh, you mean in our Bhakti Shastri it was shared?
Yes, they shared. It's a huge, big picture.
I will have to look up, Mataji. I'm not able to recollect now.
Okay.
What I remember is a tabular form, like a table, it's there. So one has 9 stages, the other has 14 stages of bhakti. That's what I remember.
Okay.
But
anyway, if you find anything like any those ways, it's easy to remember by seeing. So if you can share, then that way we can remember too.
Yeah, first I'll have to figure out what it is that you're talking about, because I'm not able to recollect. And then if I have it somewhere, I can certainly share it.
Yeah, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we will end here. It's time already. We are supposed to start Bhagavad Gita first chapter, but we are not getting the Muhurta is not coming yet to start Bhagavad Gita. We will start soon, and Leelamrit also will read. Okay? We'll end here today.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna. Thank you.